Okay, let's continue our topic. Well, number representation and calculation. We talk about different bases. We talk about Mayan number system and Babylonian number system and how to convert from this number system to base 10 or Hindu Arabic. So we talk about base 2 or binary number system, right? So the digits in base 2 are 0 and 1, and well, it's used in computer technology, right? So computer technology, besides binary number system, we also use base 8 or base 16. So base 16 or hexadecimal number system. But now the question is that, well, for example, we know that in base 10, the digits that are allowed are from 0 to 9. What about base 16? So from 0 to 15, but how can we write down the digits after 9? Well, so to solve this problem, because after 9, if you write down 10, it's like you're working base 10, right? So but if you want to work in base 16, what you should do, so base 16 or hexadecimal, okay, here we go, the digits that are allowed are from 0 to 15. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, if I write 10, it's like I'm working base 10, but I'm working base 16 or hexadecimal. What should I do? I use letters, okay? So after 9, I have 10. I use, A. A represents 10. After A, I use B. B represents 11. C represents 12. D represents 13. E represents 14. And finally, F represents 15. We're good. We wanted digits from 0 to 15. But after 9, we do not go to 10. We have 10, 11, 12, 13 in base 10. You are working in hexadecimal system or base 16. So after 9, we go with A. A represents 10, B represents 11, C represents 12, D represents 13, E represents 14, and F represents 15. Well, if you're working in another base, like for example, base 12, you need digits from 0 to 11. You exactly do the same thing, okay? After 9, we're going to use letters A, B, C, D, and so on, okay? So I'm gonna show you, just like before, how we can actually convert, from base 16 to base 10. Okay, so these are the digits that we have. Okay, and let's say here, convert DCA 516 to base 10. Okay, well, digits that are allowed in base 16 are, here we go, let me write down the digits. Okay. Digits 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. After 9, we go to A. A represents 10. B, 11. C, 12. D, 13. E, 14. And F, 15, right? A, B, C, D, E, and F. Okay, well, we want to convert it to base 10. First of all, I write down the place values. So you're working in base 16, right? So the place values are powers of 16, right? 1, 16 to 1, 16 squared, 16 to the third power, 16 to 4, and so on, right? So what we do, we write down the place value of each digit, just like before, from right to left, and we multiply each digit by its place value, right? So write down the place values. So we have D, C, A5 base 16. So write down the place value of each digit from right to left. Place value of this digit is 1. For this one is 16 to 1. For this digit is 16 squared. And for this digit is 16 to the third power. Now, multiply each digit by its place value. So D is 13, right? So 13 times its place value, 16 to the third power, plus C. Digit C, okay, is 12. So it's 12 times 16 squared. Add it to the next one, A. A is 10. 10 times its place value, 16, plus, and this digit is 5 times its place value, 1. Now add the results. So it's 56,485. Okay. We converted the base 16 numeral to a base 10 numeral. Okay, so just to practice, I want you to convert EC7 base 16 to base 10 and ACE5 base 16 to base 10. I give you around 2 minutes, and if you need more time, please pause the video. Okay, go ahead, don't forget. Write down what each digit is, write down the place values, multiply each digit by its place value, and then add the results. Okay, I'm gonna convert EC7 base 16 to base 10, from hexadecimal to Hindu Arabic or base 10. Okay, so first of all, I write down the place values. Okay, so I write the place values. So it's powers of 16. So it's 1. Oh, okay, what happened? Okay, 1. Well, place values powers of 16. 16 to 1, 16 to the second power, 16 to the third power, and so on. Well, the digits that I have, E, C, 7, base 16. Okay, well, E represents 14, right? It's 14. And C represents 12. Okay, I write down the place value of each digit from right to left. So place value of 7 is 1. For C is 16 to 1. And for E, is 16 squared. So what I do, I multiply each digit by its place value. So the digit is 14 times its place value, 16 to the second power. Add it to the next one, the digit is 12 times its place value 16, and then add it to the next one. The digit is 7 and its place value is 1. And then I add the results. Okay, so let's see what we get. 16 squared, I multiply that by 14, so it's 3,584 plus, so 12 times 16 is 192 plus 7 times 1 is 7. So the answer is, let me see. So it's 7,000, sorry, 3,783. 3,783. Is that right? Okay, we're gonna check. And the next one, well, I'm gonna do the same thing, okay? Follow the same strategy. So we have ACE5 base 16, okay? A is actually, 10, right? C is actually 12, E is 14, and so 5 is 5. I write the place value of each digit from right to left. So place value of 5 is 1, for E is 16, for C is 16 squared, and for A is 16 to the third power. Now I multiply each digit by its place value. So the digit A is 10 times place value 16 to the third power. Add it to the next one. The digit is 12 times its place value 16 squared. Add it to the next one. The digit is 14 times its place value 16. And then add it to the next one. The digit is 5 times its place value, which is 1. Well, when we add them, so let's see what we get. Okay, so first one, I guess is 40,960. And then we have 16 squared times 12. So 3,072. Add it to the next one, 14 times 16, 224 plus 5. Okay, so let's see what we get. Well, 44,261. Let's see. So first one, 3,783. Is that right? Yeah. Here we go. We wrote down the place values, multiply each digit by its place value, and we added the results. And for this one, we wrote down the place values, we multiply each digit by its place value, we added the results, and that's we got 44,261. Okay. Well, let's convert 4726 base 8 to base 10. Okay? I give you around 1 minute to answer this question. Write down the place values for base 8, okay? Multiply each digit by its place value, and then add the results. See what you get, okay? If you need more time, you can pause the video. So I give you around 1 minute. Okay, we want to convert 4726 base 8 to base 10. So first of all, I write down the place values. So place values are powers of 8. So 1, 8 to 1, 8 to the second power, 8 to the third power, 8 to the fourth power, and so on. So I write the place value of each digit from right to left. So we have 4, 7, 2, 6, base 8. So the place value of 6 is 1. The place value of next digit is 8 to 1. The place value of next digit is 8 to the second power, and last one 8 to the third power. So I multiply each digit by its place value. The digit is 4 and its place value is 8 to the third power. Add it to the next one. The digit is 7 times its place value 8 squared. Add it to the next one. The digit is 2 times its place value 8 to 1. And last one, the digit is 6 times its place value, which is 1. Okay, and add them. So I wrote down the place values. I multiply each digit by its place value, and when I add them, so I get 2518. Okay, so far we have actually converted from other bases to base 10 or Hindu Arabic, right? So what if I want to change base 10 numerals to numerals in other bases? Okay, well, to do that, okay, we need to see how many groups of each place value are actually making up the number, the numeral that we want to convert. Okay, so what does it mean? Okay, so let's say you want to convert the base 10 numeral 6. So we have base 10 numeral 6. We want to see what numeral it is actually in base 4. What I'm gonna do, I write down the place values. Here we go. Okay, so I write down the place values. Well, there are some steps that I want you to follow. First of all, write down the place values. Okay, number 2, well, choose the place values that are equal or less than the numeral that you want to convert. Okay, so number 1, that's really important. Write down the place values. Okay. Number 2, very important. Choose the place values that are equal or less than the numeral that you want to convert. Okay, here you want to convert 6, right? So what are the place values that are equal or less than 6? Well, it's 1 and 4 to 1, right? So I choose the place values that are 4 and 1, that are equal or less than the numeral, here 6, that we want to convert. If you look at the place values here, 4 to 1 is 4. 4 squared is 16, right? 1 and 4 are the place values that are equal or less than 6. Okay, then see how many groups of these place values they actually make your number. So I want to see how many groups of 4 and how many groups of 1 they actually make numeral 6. Okay, it's one group of 4 because if I go with 2, 2 times 4 is 8, which is actually bigger than 6, right? So it's one group of 4. Okay, 1 times 4 is actually 4. How many more do I need to reach 6? 2. Okay, so 2 groups of 1. Well, 1 group of 4 and 2 groups of 1, they build up 6. So 6 is actually 1, 2, base 4. That's the answer. So 6 in base 10 is actually 1, 2 in base 4, right? So I wrote down the place values. I found the place values that are equal or less than the numeral that I want to convert. So here are 1 and 4. And then I express 6 as, one group of 4 and 2 groups of 1, right? So here we go. 1 group of 4 and 2 groups of 1 build up 6. So it's 1, 2, 1 to base 4. So 6 in base 10 is actually 1, 2 base 4. Okay, I want you to convert the base 10 numeral 8 to base 5 numeral. Okay, I give you around 1 minute. Go ahead. So change base 10 numeral 8 to base 5. Write down the place values for base 5. See which ones are equal or less than 8. And then see how many groups of these place values actually build up 8. Okay, so first of all, I write down the place values. Okay, so place values for base 5. So 1, 5 to 1, 5 to the second power, 5 to the third power, and so on. Well, 1 is 1, 5 to 1 is 5. 5 squared is 25, and 5 to the third power is actually 125, and so on. You want to convert 8. So which place values are equal or less than 8? 1 and 5. So we choose these ones. So we want to see how many groups of 5 and how many groups of 1 they build up 8. Okay, it's 1 group of 5 because if I go with 2, 2 times 5 is 10. It's bigger than 8. So 1 group of 5. 1 times 5 is 5. How many more do I need to build up 8? 3, right? So 3 groups of 1. So 8 is 1, 3, base 5. So I wrote down the place values in base 5. I pick the place values that are equal or less than the numeral that we want to convert. Here 8, so these are 1 and 5. Okay, and then I saw how many groups of 5 and 1 actually build up 8. I found that 1 group of 5 and 3 groups of 1, they build up 8. So 1, 3. So 8 is actually 1, 3 base 5. Here we go. Right? Very, very easy. So these are the steps. Write down the place values in base B. Use the place values that are equal or less than the base 10 numeral, the numeral that you want to convert. And then we use divisions to see how many groups of each place value actually is, building up the base 10 numeral that we want to convert, right? So these are the steps that we follow. Okay, well, when we have a small number like 8, like 6, well, it's really easy to see how many groups of the chosen place values are actually building up the numeral, right, that we are converting. But let's say we have a numeral that is big number, like here, 299, right? You want to actually convert it to a base 8 numeral. So sometimes it's difficult to do it in mind. So if it's difficult for you, what you need to do, you can actually use divisions. Okay, so first of all, we want to convert it to base 8, right? So I write down the place values in base 8. So here we go. And well, um, 1 is 1, you know, 8 to 1 is 8, 8 squared is 64, and 8 to the third power is 512. We keep going. So step 2, we actually use the place values that are equal or less than the numeral that we want to convert. We want to convert 299, and these place values are equal or less than 299. So we choose 1, 8, and 64. So I have to see, well, how many, groups of 64, how many groups of 8, and how many groups of 1 they actually build up to 199. Well, I use my calculator. So 64, I multiply that by 5, so it's 325, which is bigger than 299. So I try 4. So 64 times 4 is 256, is less than 299. Okay, so 4 groups of 64. Okay, so if I multiply that by 5, I get a number which is bigger than 299, so I choose 4. Okay, so 4 times 64 is actually 256. 256. Okay, so how many more do I need to reach 299? Okay, so I subtract 299 minus 256 is 43. Okay, how many groups of 8 can make 43? So 5. 5 times 8 is 40, and 6 times 8 is actually 48, which is bigger than 43. Now I've made 40. Well, I need 3 more, so here we go. If we cannot do that in mind, well, what should we do? We use division. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, let me show you. Okay, well, what happened? Okay, sorry. So I wrote down the place values. I use the place values that are less than the numeral that we want to convert, and I use division because I have a big number here. I can use division to see how many groups of each place value builds up 299. Okay, that's how we do. So 299, first of all, I divide it by 64. Okay, the biggest place value that we have picked. Okay, here we go. So 299. Okay, don't wanna. Okay, change the screen. Okay, sorry. 299, I divided by 64. So if I go with 5, actually I get a number bigger than 299. So I go with 4. 4 times 64 is 256. 299 minus 256 is actually 43. Okay, so it means we have 4 groups of 64. Now this remainder, I divided by the next place value, which is 8. So how many groups of 8 makes 43? If I go with 6, I get 48, which is bigger than 43, okay? So I go with 5. 5 times 8, 40. 43 minus 40 is 3. So I have 4 groups of 8. Guys, the only place value left now is 1, okay? So the remainder here tells you the groups of 1 that build up your number. So we have 3 groups of 1. So it means that this 299, I can write it down as 4 groups of 64, actually 5 groups of 8, and 3 groups of 1. When you add them, 4 times 64, you add it to 5 times 8 and then add it to 3 times 1, you're supposed to get 299, okay? So 299 then is 4, 5, 3, base 8. You converted that. Okay, 4, 5, 3, base 8. 4 groups of 64, 5 groups of 8, and 3 groups of 1 build up to 199. Okay, so I want you to convert the base 10 numeral 26 to base 2 numeral, okay? Well, I give you around 1 minute, and if you need more time, you can pause the video, okay? Go ahead. Okay, so I'm gonna write down the place values, base 2. So place values, because we want to convert our numeral to a base 2 numeral, okay? So it's 1, 2 to 1, 2 to the second power, 2 to the third power, 2 to the fourth power, and so on. Let's see what we get. So 1 is 1, 2 to 1 is 2, 2 squared is 4, 2 to the third power is 8, so 2 to the fourth power is 16, okay? So 2 to the fifth power is 32, and so on. Okay, choose the place values that are equal or less than the numeral that you want to convert. We want to convert 26, right? So these are the place values that are equal or less than 26. I want to see how many groups of 16, how many groups of 8, how many groups of 4, how many groups of 2, and how many groups of 1 they actually build up 26. Okay, 2 times 16 is 32, is bigger than 26. So I go with 1. So one group of 16. 1 times 16 is 16, right? How many more do I need to build up 26? 10. Okay, I need 10. Well, how many groups of 8 then? One group of 8, right? So I needed 10. Now I have built up 8. I need 2, right? 2 more. So you tell me then, how many groups of 4? Well, 0. Here I have 16. Here I have 8. That when you add them, it's 24. I need 2 more to build up 26. So 0 group of 4. Well, how many group of 2? Well, 1. I need 2 more, right? Then how many groups of 1? 0. Well, if it's hard to do it like that, I use division. Okay, I write down the place values. I choose the place values that are less than the numeral that we want to convert, and then I use division. Okay, I divide 26. Okay, let me write it down here. I divide 26 by the biggest place value, 16. How many groups of 16? 1. Because if you choose 2, 2 times 16 is 32, is bigger than 26, is 1. 1 times 16 is 16. 26 minus 16 is 10, right? Okay, so we have 1 groups of 16. This remainder, I bring it here and I divide it by the next place value, so which is 8. So 10 divided by 8, so 1 group of 8. So 10 minus 8 is 2, so I have 1 group of 8. Now the remainder is 2. I move it here and I divide it by the next one. So next place value is 4. Well, 4 is bigger than 2, so 0 groups of 4 we need here. 0 times 4 is 0, so 2 minus 0 is 2. So we have 0 groups of 4. So I bring 2 here and I divide it by the next place value, which is 2. So 2 divided by 2, 1 group of 2, build up 2. Okay, I have 1 group of 2. Now I have 0. So last place value which is left is 1. So that's your remainder. The number of, groups are your remainder, right? So we have then 1 group of 16, 1 group of 8, 0 group of 4, 1 group of 2, and 0 group of 1. So 1 group of 16, 1 group of 8, 0 group of 4, 1 group of 2, and 0 group of 1. So actually 26 is 11010 base 2. Here we go. We use division and we converted 26 to base 2 is 11010. Okay, well, I'm gonna stop here. Next topic, we're gonna actually cover computation in other number systems, how we can add, subtract, multiply, or do divisions in other bases.